Dear students, it is the fourth video about the concept of communication for week 1. In the third video, we talked about the emotional intelligence. That emotional intelligence means to understand the feelings of the other people, analyze their situations, judging your own situation, position, and emotions, and accordingly approaching the problem and till the final solution. It is called the emotional intelligence as a very integral part of the successful communication. In this video, we are going to talk about organizational communication, the communication that is at professional level, at business level, among from simple uh, forms or till the very complex and large companies like Microsoft, General Motors, like US Army, like Chinese Army, Indian Army. I mean, they are, for example, they are the larger organizations operating at international level with thousand, hundred people and hundreds of the multiple sections. Fine. How these organizations, departments communicate with one another. This communication is called organizational communication, and their understanding, aptitude, policies, that is called organizational behavior. In simple words, to analyze the nature of communication and policies, another way would we say that we are going to discuss organizational behavior. Let's read the definition. Organizational communication can be defined as a process through which organizations are created and in turn create and shape events. The process can be understood as a combination of process, people, message, meaning, and purpose. Means organizational communication mean that how the different departments come into existence. I mean, what is called a state, what are its different departments, like the judiciary and executive and legislature, and then there is a cabinet, and cabinet is made up of ministers, and every minister is the master and controller of an entire ministry. For example, Ministry of Defense, then there are secretaries, and the whole business of the uh, defense is executed and take places in ministry. So this is what organization communication. Then in a cabinet, how the prime minister interacts with all the major stakeholders of the country. Clear? What are the responsibilities of the cabinet, and what are the responsibilities of army and police and the judiciary and this and that, how these departments are interlinked, what are their authorities. All this all together makes you understand about the organizational communication. So for understanding the organization communication and behaviors, we have to know about the mission statement of that very organization, the very structure of the organization, the statutes, powers empowered to them by the legislature or the government, clear, their limitations, clear. So that all, it's a blend, it's a complete uh, as a huge discussion about every department. Fine. uh, so let's see it. Functions of organizational communication. What are the major functions of the organization communication? Number one, it is means by which a manager ensures cooperation of subordinates. That in organization communication, manager ensures that the subordinate people are collaborating, they are helping, they are performing their due assignments properly. How he comes to know? By reports, by supervisions, by official documentation. It is the exchange of meanings among members of an organization that often the members of the organizations sit together and they discuss the policies, the better aspects and the worst aspects, sometimes in official capacity and sometimes they are sitting just as friends and chit chatting on that. This is very necessary. This is another way of the aspect of communications. Third, it is the glue which binds the elements of an organization together. I mean, if there is no communication, there is no relation. Thereby, in organization, it is first a hierarchy is made, designations are offered, job description are given, time schedule is there, contract is written, clear, managerial staff is there to support you, execute your discussions. This is what communication glues, connects, contracts you to one another. It builds the very structure of an organization who communicates with whom about what. I mean, it defines that how the subordinate will communicate and what his communication be called and in which manner the top authorities could be can communicate and what type of communication will be their manner. Fine. In organizational behavior and organizational communication aspects, the definition of communication methods. Communication is the flow of material information, fine, perception and understanding between the various parts and members of the organization. Fine, communication is the flow of material information, perception and understanding between the various parts and the member of organizations. Fine, let me explain it in a clear manner. In this era COVID-19, I refer this subject matter over and again. You have seen that altogether at once the mode of communication is changed. Now students are staying at home, whereas at the back end the faculty is more extensively involved in communicating on internet, through WhatsApp, through uh, video links, clear. They are also interacting you in the same way. They have designed LMS, clear, to what? To share the material information, perception, understanding material. Because this is now being done not on individual level, not in a simple group level, but at the organizational level. Clear? Here are other definitions. Communication is the transfer of meanings from one person to another. So there are the certain definitions which have been highlighted for you in different ink. Fine. So you may read it. Now we come to the functions of the communication. Right. In the next video, inshallah, I will try to cover the function of communication, like communication acts to control members' behavior, to foster motivation, to make final decisions or decision making. Fine. Hope you have understood.